Hello, thank you very much for attending this session. My name is Álvaro Esplugas, and I'm the head of AI and Generative AI Solutions Marketing at AWS. Today, I'm going to give you an introduction of the top Generative AI use case we're seeing among our customers. This is our agenda today. We'll start by giving an introduction to Generative AI and the top use case. Then we'll do a deep dive on three big areas: how Generative AI is impacting customer experience, how Generative AI can be used to boost employee productivity, and how Generative AI can help to improve business process. And finally, I close this session by giving you some recommendations about how to get started. I'm sure you have all experienced how powerful Generative AI is through consumer applications. And while a lot of attention has been given to those consumer apps, we think there is a bigger opportunity on how Generative AI will transform business across every single industry. In fact, Goldman Sachs predicts that Generative AI will lead to a $7 trillion increase in global GDP in the next 10 years. Let's have a look at what makes Generative AI so special. Traditional ML models are trained with labeled data and are capable of executing one specific task. Foundation models, which are at the base of Generative AI, are trained with huge amounts of unlabeled data and are capable of executing many different tasks like generation, question answering, summarization, translation, correction, and classification. Those tasks can be applied to different inputs and outputs like text, image, video, audio, and code. When you combine those capabilities with the inputs and outputs and the needs of the different industries, you end up with hundreds of Generative AI use cases. Those use cases can be grouped in three categories, depending on who's going to benefit from Generative AI. Is it the customer, by enhancing the customer experience with Generative AI? Is it your employees, by boosting their productivity and creativity? Or your backend process, by using Generative AI to optimize business process? Let's have a look at some of the top use cases in each of those categories. First one is chatbots. Chatbots and virtual assistants is one of the top ones in this category. They have existed for a long time, in fact, but they were rule-based. With Generative AI, chatbots and virtual assistants can be developed much faster and have a more fluent, human-like conversations, helping customers to quickly resolve common customer inquiries without the need of an agent. We combine the best of two worlds. The traditional AI strengths are predictability, control, predetermined responses, and rapid response text experience, so with low latency, while Generative AI adds a more nuanced language understanding, RAG capabilities to create more sophisticated functional search, handling and predictable dialogues, and then also analyzing the structured data generated by all those conversations to uncover key insights. Let's talk about one customer using Generative AI for customer experience. That's Booking.com, a startup out of the Netherlands, grown to one of the world's leading digital travel agency. Booking.com is using Generative AI to improve recommendations for customers and deliver tailored booking experience. They do that by fine-tuning natural language models with their own data using Amazon Bedrock. The company is connecting customers with their dream destinations that are specifically tailored and relevant because of that fine-tuning of the model. Another example is Quext, a mid-sized property management platform out of Texas. They are experimenting with Amazon Titan model, train the model with their leasing data, service request data, and a comprehensive in-depth knowledge base. And they provide with that a real-time, smooth conversational response tailored to the needs of renters, marketers, and operators. Last but not least, PGA, a nonprofit organization serving golfers from 28 countries. The challenge they have is they wanted to provide their fans with real-time leaderboards, fastest access to tournament updates, and access to player information and a better PGA app experience. They found a solution by working with the AWS Generative AI Innovation Center to develop a proof of concept of a Generative AI virtual assistant to summarize information on stats on players and evaluate game performance. If you want to get started on delivering impactful solutions in the chatbot with Generative AI, I suggest that you check the Q&A bot solution in the AWS Solutions Library. It's an open source AWS CloudFormation solution that uses Amazon Lex, Amazon Bedrock, and other AWS services to automate bot building and allows you to deploy a fully functional chatbot experience across multiple channels, including contact centers, chat, voice, SMS, and Amazon Alexa. Let's have a look at other use cases in this customer experience category. Like Agent Assist, generative AI can be used to assist human agents not only with fast answers, but with additional information the customer might be interested in. It automates common agent tasks like information lookup, finding the best answer to the customer questions, boosting their productivity, and lowering average call handle times. Another related use case is what we call conversational analytics, that allows you to extract key insights from social media, surveys, and recorded calls in your contact center. Business can rapidly discover actionable insights and understand the root cause with massive amounts of unstructured data that they couldn't get the value from in the past. Generative AI enables advanced technologies like topic modeling, sentiment analysis, intent recognition, and summarization to be applied, unleashing the ability to truly understand the voice of your customer. At re:Invent, we launched Amazon Q Connect, an out-of-the-box feature in Amazon Connect that generates suggestive responses and actions from your company's content with no coding required. Amazon Q Connect includes real-time agent assist functionality, formerly known as Amazon Connect Wisdom, along with new generative AI-powered recommendations, responses, actions, and links to more information. Another generative AI feature of Amazon Connect is what we call post-contact summarization, where generative AI automatically creates summaries, eliminating manual note-taking, which frees up valuable time to assist. This capability is critical in scenarios such as agent-to-agent or bot-to-agent contact transfers, so the next agent can quickly understand the current state of the contact or when a supervisor needs to take over a specific conversation. It also helps to extract key insights to improve customer service from all those recorded conversations. Customers like Travel Grills, NatWest, and Orbit have been using Amazon Q Connect in beta and seeing some initial results, like Orbit, a manufacturer and supplier of home and commercial irrigation systems, expects to save 10 to 15% of time on every contact. Traeger, a leading provider of smoker, grills, and barbecue products, anticipates that Amazon Q Connect will improve agent efficiency by 20% by providing agents with generated responses and actions that are specific to customer needs. And NatWest, a retail and commercial bank in the UK and Ireland, has told us that Amazon Q Connect will ensure that both their new and their experienced agents are prompted with accurate information in real time so they can deliver a consistently high-quality customer experience. Let's now talk about generative AI impacting the workplace and how it will boost employee productivity and creativity. In a recent report, Gartner says that generative AI is likely to be the most disruptive innovation yet encountered in the digital workplace, and that they expect it to impact 80% of the jobs to some extent, with information worker jobs changing the most quickly and dramatically. They also say that Gen AI-supported work tends to be more efficient and of a higher quality, and that the productivity is improved by over 30% on average. Let's have a look at some of the use cases in this category. The first one is generative AI employee assistance, a broad use case which in fact includes many different sub-use cases like content and knowledge discovery that allows employees to have a unified conversational search experience across the company's content repositories, summarization and comparative analysis that helps employees to summarize data from various sources and perform comparative analysis, extract key insights from structured and unstructured data to enable faster and better decisions, and finally, content creation that empowers employees to create content faster and smarter across departments, from marketing to sales to engineering. Let's have a look at some examples of how employee assistance can help in different areas of the business. Salespeople can use generative AI to create a competitive analysis by comparing documentation from different providers. They can use it to create personalized offers to their customers. They can create sales scripts to help new sellers have the conversation with their customers. Marketing professionals can use it for content creation or for creating personalized marketing. They can also use it to find keywords for SEO optimization. Product management teams can use it for product design. They can use it for doing market research by connecting the assistant to different data sources, or to create user persona creations by generating those user personas. PR can use it for drafting PR, press release, or to monitor social media, or to create talking points for a Q&A. And HR can use it for personalized learning paths, for creating surveys within the organization, or for designing onboarding plans, and many, many different areas within the organization that can benefit from generative AI in day-to-day activities. Amazon Q is your generative AI power assistant designed for work that can be tailored to your business, code, data, and operations. It is currently preview, and you can try it for free in the Amazon website. Amazon Q helps you get accurate answers, solve problems, generate new content, and take actions using the data and expertise found in your company's information repositories, including your code and enterprise systems. It personalizes interactions based on your role and permissions, so you will just get answers from the information you have access to, and it's built to be secure and private. With Amazon Q, you will streamline tasks, speed decision-making, and help spark creativity and innovation within your organization. Let's see an example of how an account executive could use Amazon Q in his daily activities. In this case, the account executive will ask the system to give information about a company called Example Corp. The system provides information, and the account executives ask why this company will be interested in a tax application. And the assistant replies with information it found. Then the account executive asks, do they have dollar credits to conduct a POC? And they will get the number coming from the database. And then finally, he asks how many countries this company is working on, so he can then send an email adding that information about the language support for this application. An example of an account executive in the sales department using Amazon Q, accessing the information about all the different customers and the different products they provide, and trying to find what is the best offer for a customer and the best reasons why this customer should be interested in the tax and accounting software they sell. Another example of how generative AI can improve employees' productivity is by automatically generating reports based on employees' prompts. Generative AI can be used to create a story based on the information in a table or a graph, so it will be easier to understand what the data is telling us. This use case enables faster and better decisions. Amazon's solution for this use case is Amazon Q in QuickSight. With Amazon Q in QuickSight, users can ask questions like, why did the number of orders increase last month? And get a response in the form of a mini dashboard that illustrates the factors that influence the increase in orders. An analyst can also ask Amazon Q to quickly build a dashboard by describing the data they want to visualize. Just ask Amazon Q, show me sales by region by month as a stacked bar chart, and it will respond with a visual in seconds. Amazon Q in QuickSight also makes it easier to use existing dashboards to inform business stakeholders, distill key insights, and simplify decision makers using what we call data stories. For example, users may ask Amazon Q to build a story about how the business has changed over the last month from a business review with the senior leadership. And in seconds, Amazon Q delivers a data-driven story that is visually compelling and is completely customizable. These stories can be shared internally throughout the organization to help align stakeholders and drive better decisions. Let's have a look at how Amazon Q works with this demo.
Let's take a look at how business analysts and end users can harness the power of generative BI. We'll start as an analyst, creating a new sales dashboard. We can use the new Generative Visual Builder from QuickSight Q to create the visuals we need using simple natural language. To create a visual, I just describe the data I want to see. I can easily change chart types or add analytics such as a forecast. Let's build a couple more. Let's do sales by product by city, And let's create a breakdown of regional sales by segment as a Sankey diagram. Each visual we create is interactive and completely customizable, the same as if you built it from scratch. Generative BI can also be used to create calculated fields. Just describe what you want to calculate. Let's do month over month, free trial, percent change by date, so we can analyze the delta in trial signups over time. Once we save this calculation, the data is ready to use. Let's check it out. I'll create a new visual that combines order date and the field we just made. To polish this visual, I'll use the generative editor to describe the changes I want. Let's change the date granularity to month, add color by region, and change the chart type to a vertical stacked bar. Looks great. The dashboard is ready to publish. Now, let's see how generative BI can help the business user who's going to use this dashboard. As a business user, I can quickly create polished stories using natural language that are tailored to my needs. This saves me hours or even days. Today, let's create a story about increasing the conversion of free trial customers into paying accounts so we can boost sales. In seconds, our story is ready. It has multiple sections filled with AI-generated text combined with visuals from our dashboard. The story is customizable. For example, I see this paragraph is about bundling features, but it's missing a visual. I can easily bring in any visual I have access to. Here at the bottom, I see the next steps section is written as a paragraph, but I think bullets would be more effective. The generative editor allows me to use large language models to summarize this content in different ways. It is that easy. As a business user, I can now share this story with my team to help them drive towards better data-driven decisions.
One of the companies using QuickSight's new Q-powered authoring experience is BMW. They enable the regional supply chain specialists to easily create calculations and dashboards using natural language. Finally, another use case of generative AI applied to increase employee productivity is code generation. Generative AI can help developers by writing much of the undifferentiated code, allowing them to build faster while freeing them up to focus on more creative aspects of coding. Amazon's solution for this use case is called Amazon Code Whisper. Let's now move to the third category of generative AI use case, improving business process. Let's have a look at a couple of examples. The first one is the one we call intelligent document processing. Companies spend thousands of dollars to manually extract information from documents they need for their business process. Generative AI-powered document processing combines computer vision to extract information in the doc, machine learning to classify those documents, and generative AI to summarize information and extract insights. Amazon's solution for this use case combines Amazon TextWrap, who takes care of the extraction and classification, with Amazon Bedrock, that takes care of summarization and extraction of key insights. Another use case is data augmentation that uses generative AI to generate synthetic data that will then be used to train predictive and classification ML models. We use synthetic data for data augmentation when there is not enough data, for example, a classifier to detect cancer tumors in medical scans, where only a few hundred label scans may be available. We can use generative AI to create thousands of new label scans to train the model, preventing overfitting. We can also use it when we have imbalanced data, like in fraud detection, where fraudulent transactions are more rare than legitimate ones. And finally, when we have sensitive data, for example, a model predicting employee attrition, where the training data may contain sensitive information about employees. A good example of data augmentation using generative AI is Amazon One. Amazon One is a fast, convenient, and contactless experience that enables customers to use the palm of their hand for everyday activities like paying a store, presenting a loyalty card, verifying their age, or entering a venue. Amazon One is being rolled out to more than 500 Whole Foods Market stores and dozens of third-party locations. But when was the last time you've seen an image of a human palm? How could we train a system where accuracy is paramount when we only had a small amount of palm data? That's when the Amazon One team used millions of synthetically generated images of the palm and the vessels underneath to boost the system's accuracy. The resulting model is 100 times more accurate than using ARIScan. We've just seen some examples of generative AI use case to inspire your imaginations. There are hundreds or more. Let me close this session by sharing best practice learned from the Generative AI Innovation Center. And the biggest advice is fall in love with the problem, not the solution. We tend to be so excited about the capabilities of generative AI that we do proof of concept based on the technology, not the problem that we were trying to solve. Find a problem that can be solved with generative AI and that you can measure the business impact that you will get. Second, ideally find a use case in which you will use your data as a differentiator. Foundation models are great, but they're even better when they're trained with your own, or train or fine-tune or adjust and customize with your own data, because that will give you a competitive advantage and will leverage the insights that you already have in your organization. And finally, consider this an iterative experimentation process. If this is your first generative AI project, it won't be the last, which means that it's very important that you find use cases that are impactful, visible, and relatable. So this is going to help your organization to understand what is that you did in your particular use case and how they can apply that same experience within their own department or area, which means that you will accelerate the adoption of generative AI and the benefits it brings to the business. As I mentioned, we just reviewed some of the common use case, but if you want to learn more, go and check the AI Use Case Explorer. Well, you'll be able to navigate through all the use case that exists based on the industry, the business function, and the desired business outcome. You can also check out the AI Solutions Library, which has cloud-famous solutions that you can install with a single click in your console as an easy way to start a proof of concept in generative AI. And finally, we recently announced the AWS Generative AI Innovation Center, a $100 million investment in a new program that connects AWS AI experts with customers and partners worldwide to help them build proof of concepts and deploy generative AI intelligence solutions. I hope you came out of this session with at least one idea of a use case you could apply in your organization and some recommendations on how to get started. Thank you very much for your time.